well. Well, 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 well. Well, 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 well. If we don't find ourselves in a place in time outside of time, because time is a construct, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't really exist. That's what I've been told. It's also racist. Time is racist. So we've broken racism, everybody. It's a very good thing. We've broken racism. Oh god, am I getting shot at? I just put like a minor piece of chocolate in my mouth, and here we are, getting shot at. Okay, there's my looky-loo. Okay. Exit the warehouse. Now, fortunately for me, when I'm in the time zone... What's that? Oopsies. When I'm in the time zone here... What is that? Oh, SMG. Do I have an SMG? No, I have assault rifle. Assault rifle 1542. What's that? What's that blinky light? Luckily, I can't actually sprint or anything, I don't think. Ah, yes, I forgot all of my moves. It has been a solid week since I've played this game. Which means I don't remember anything. What's this? Ah, right, another SMG. SMG de Lusignan. Let's hit the button. The button of advancement. The button that will take me to my destiny. Because of all the things I can do. I can sprint forward in time. I can even... Hold on, wrong button. Nope, wrong button again. Nope, wrong button. I really should... Okay, you know what I should really do? You know what I should do? I should set some of these buttons to actually be on my mouse instead of... Let's see here. Time stop, mouse 3, time dodge is shift, time shield is control, time vision is V. I wonder... Okay, so this is my... I don't want to do that to dodge. Dodge is a little bit too much. Time shield might be better as that. Mouse 4. Time vision. So really now I'm just using my mouse. Time stop, time blast. Time blast. I can explode people with time. Oh, that's pretty badass. There we go. I have a shield of time made entirely out of time. Oh, okay, hold on. So, last time on Dragon Ball Z, one of my guys became a fugitive, and I saw all that in cutscene. No, I played that a little bit. No? It was cutscene. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even remember. What I do know is that there is a place in it. No, I played as Paul. That's right. I played as Paul, who's trying to
Paul was
fix
at the dry docks in the distance. I recognized the place. William had a workshop in that industrial area for years. I knew that couldn't be a coincidence.
Exactly. Sentimentalism. Sentimentalism gets everybody eventually. Eventually you get old, and eventually you start thinking about the things you've lost. And then you become a weak little pussy. Oh, really? We're doing this already? Where?
I did what you said, okay? Please. Please just let me go.
You did good, Amy. Broadcast just went out, but Hatch wants a follow-up confession. You got the script?
Yeah, this one's more reflective.
I'm glad this is...
Wish we could undo what we done sort of deal. Dave will feed you the lines.
Dave? You're using your names. You're not letting me go, are you?
Nope.
You're never letting me go.
No, you are not. Oh, okay. Dude. Alright, I guess I don't need time stop. That's cool. I didn't want to actually stop time anyway. Dave will feed you the lines. That's right. You're never getting out of here, dear. Never. 'Cause if I could turn back time...
You. From the protest. What do you...
I should have let you get shot.
I am so sorry. I didn't want to, but they made me do it.
They made you do what? What is this place?
They forced me to make false confessions for the news, I think. I'm so sorry, Jack. They were armed.
Hey, whatever you did, it's not your fault. None of this is your fault.
Yeah, but I have superpowers, so
I'm
I
just
don't care.
glad you're okay.
I don't even know you. Like I don't even know who this chick is. All right, let's go look at the laptop. Lolita laptop. Living La Vida laptop. Sophia. Alright, hold on. Sorry. Sophia. Yes, the fracture has begun, and yes, it will take its inevitable course. But you worry too much. I understand your concerns, but our preparations will be ready by the time it has run its course. Keep in mind that I've been to the end of time. I've seen how this plays out. We've taken every precaution necessary. Now we just need to make sure that the pieces fall into place. So how'd you get back? If you can turn back time... Hold on, when could you turn back time? Is this a paradox where you can only go back to the point where it starts? So, like, you've created a loop inside of time? Because I know we had a bunch of loops yesterday, or not yesterday, Monday. So, like, okay, so he could walk up to the edge of time and then backtrack, right? I mean, that's a possibility. I'm now thinking this through. So, how could, if he's at the end of time, he still exists. I'm assuming most things don't, and we don't even know what that looks like. For all I know, it's just a black screen that says game over. We don't know any of that stuff. But I'm interested to see what happens. Now we just need to make sure that the pieces fall into place. We cannot cancel the gala tonight. The team needs reassurance that our plan is moving forward without further complications. Even those who aren't aware of the lifeboat protocol need a guarantee that their efforts are not in vain. They need to know that I am in control. The university was only the first step. Now the real work begins. I am almost finished up at Ground Zero. I will head to the island for my treatment very soon. I couldn't have done this without you, Sophia. Paul. Paul, the fracture occurred exactly at 4:15 a.m., just as you predicted. However, the stutter seemed to be occurring at an alarming rate, which more frequently than expected. I know better than to question your knowledge of the matter, but I just want to be sure that the timeline you proposed grants us enough time for what must be done. You didn't receive your treatment before you left. I can't stress how important it is that you continue consistent treatment for the efficiency, or the efficiency will dwindle. We can't afford for your sickness to intensify. Not now. Please come to the island and receive your treatment as soon as time permits. I'm worried about you. Dr. Sophia Amaral, Head of Research. Is his treatment by any chance involving pelvic thrusts? I believe this man is probably getting sucked off in the past, the present, and the future, all at once.
Listen, I need to get to the dry docks. Do you know the way?
No, I don't think so. But they took me in through a security station nearby. I can help you find a way through there. I owe you.
Do you? I mean, you do, but I'm not going to say that. That's rude.
The security station is right over there.
What? Okay, do you know that if it goes to the dry docks? Like, I mean...
Oh, I knew Marnock had a dark side, but this? They're controlling the entire media, everything.
Yeah,
I can't cover this up.
Welcome to
It's
Big
too big.
Pharma.
They can. Trust me.
Was ist los?
It's locked. There must be a gate control around somewhere.
Yeah, I'll check.
Oh, I have to go through this door.
Monarch's twisting the story for the media, claiming the protest went hostile and that we detonated the library. They're blaming you, Jack.
That's unfortunate.
I'm Paul's scapegoat.
This isn't good. Once that newscast goes live, the whole city is gonna be against you. Nobody's gonna have a clue what really happened.
It's almost like lying is bad for you.
Do you think the others are okay from the university?
Oh, I don't care about them.
I have no idea.
I
They
mean, look...
told me they were sent home, but
Oh, sure they were. Dear, of course they were. Honey, of course they were sent home. In pieces, mostly. How could you even... Question mark. Okay, that did absolutely nothing. Alright. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way. If only there was a...
It worked.
Why does this kind of remind me of... Oh, am I going to have to stop time or something on this, people?
It's not holding long. I don't think you're fast enough.
That can be fixed.
Woo!
Oh my god.
Yes.
You're just like them.
Yes.
Like who?
I saw them on the way in. These geared up soldiers that blink in and out.
Okay. Oh, something new to look forward to.
Yes.
You know, I thought I was losing my mind when I saw that. You're part of this.
Yes.
I need to know what's going on.
No.
You really want to open that can of worms?
You just defied physics. I'm entitled to all the worms.
No. I mean, you
Right,
were...
my brother tried to explain. Time is an egg, which is now fucked.
Okay.
A time egg, which is... it's fucked. It's like broken. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, very
Why
good.
is there an egg?
Time is ending. Monarch has something to do with it. Get me to the dry docks, and I'll find out why.
You know, I think you did an excellent job describing what it was like to be in this man's head. I think that... Oh, is this my way in? Hell yeah. Look at that. See? Being resourceful. Q. I found a chrono source. A chronological source, if you will. Alright, now I gotta... Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
I'll just get back up here.
that should work. Wait here.
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way.
But when you put the pieces together, it all goes banana pancakes.
Banana pancakes.
So everyone thinks that Monarch is run by this smart asshole named Martin Hatch, but everyone here answers to a guy named Paul Serene.
Yes.
And apparently he founded Monarch in 1999.
Well, so what he did...
Now, here's the thing.
I've seen this episode
Paul
of Futurama.
Serene is the exact name of a guy who was heading some top secret physics project at my university. So it's gotta be the same guy, right?
Yes.
Wrong.
It's exactly the same guy.
Now, I heard that Monarch was there to steal the project from the university, but why steal something from yourself? Also, I saw that guy Paul Serene on campus once, and he looked like 30 years old. So if he started Monarch in 1999, that would make him 14. So unless he's a Doogie Howser of corporate America, that's impossible.
See,
Banana fucking pancakes.
that's where you
So
have to...
Paul founded Monarch.
Oof. Alright, so I guess he doesn't know this. I mean... yeah, I guess he wouldn't, because he's not really
get up to
involved
that
in this stuff.
window.
I know, I'm just looking for stuff, dude. I mean, you keep dropping lore tidbits every now and again, and I'm like, okay, well, hold on. Is this important? Is this going to be a new revelation that this chick's going to have? No, she's just going to be talking randomly. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It adds ambiance, and it definitely fits in with Alan Wake stuff. I guess it also kind of makes me think of, like, Naughty Dog stuff, but
How
I never
about
played
that
Last of Us.
window? Do you think you can get in through there?
Window? Window? Window. Why would I want to go through the window? To the window!
Window, Jack. What do you think?
You know, you make it sound like it's just so easy. Try the window. Okay, let's see here.
That window, Jack?
That window jack. I don't know what a window jack is, but I'll surely give it a try. A good old college try.
Jack.
Oh, okay, I guess okay, alright. Sprinting, the phase shifting does not work for jumping across chasms. Noted. I must do that with my feetsies, which are... work, kind of. Oof, look at that, see? White boys can jump if they really have to. So Paul Serene went back in time, and he gave 14-year-old him a, hold on. How did he open a bank account? Oh, it was 1999. I guess it makes sense. Kind of, maybe. Not really. Because even in 1999, they had to have, like, identification. Oh, snap! Well, how am I supposed to get around that? Okay, let's do this again. You know, the first time wasn't fun enough. I guess as a mechanic where I have to, you know, reverse time to make this work out. And I'm sure that it's not going to be frustrating or annoying in the slightest. And I have to slow down time or something to make it work out. Oh boy. You know, Prince of Persia so far had a better time vision. If you use time vision, you'll be able to stop and manipulate time with vision. You know, I would love to see what happens.
Another one of those rewind things?
Yeah, it's a rewind thing. Yeah, it's a rewind thing, see?
Starting to get the hang of this.
Not really. I just follow the QuickTime events. So basically, this guy is essentially a time god. Like, he can't be messed with. He can go forward and backwards mostly.
Now
Or at
to get
least
to
slow
that
down.
door.
Why do you have to get? Why do we need her again? Wow, they've really changed this place from the inside. This looks like knock knock. Open up the door and see.
Finally.
What?
Good work. I need to make this right.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the terminal up here and try and dig up what Monarch's really up to.
You could also have a broadcaster. Oh, I guess they don't. She doesn't have it, so she wouldn't. All right. Well, while you do that, I'm gonna go checking emails. It's all rumors and conjectures from what I.
Eyewitness on the scene. Amy, tell us, what is going on here?
There were people from our group who took things too far. Shit. Things got very violent. I'm so sorry, Jack. They forced me to do it.
I know.
Because of Jack Joyce.
There's nothing you could have
Sounds
done.
like a terrifying scene down there. We really
That
appreciate
map over
your
there should help me
bravery
figure out
going
a
on
route.
record to speak out against what appears
A
to
map?
be such a dangerous person.
Yeah, it's just so dangerous. This man can literally control time, but he's not that dangerous though.
Jack, we should take a look at the
Shut up, you heifer. It's all rumors and conjecture from what I hear. I wasn't at the university, but there's no way Joyce took out all those guards. He's just some random guy, not a trained assassin. The stories floating around make it sound like he's shooting laser beams out of his goddamn asshole. Anyway, they got Liam Burke hunting him down right now, so I think it's safe to say Joyce is fucked. Off the record, I hear Paul Serene has been investigating a potential traitor within Monarch. Somebody's been accessing all kinds of confidential information. Remember that research Dr. Amaro was doing to find a permanent cure for Serene's sickness? Rumor has it somebody sabotaged the tests, had to start over. Just a few weeks later, the uni op goes sour. Willing to bet the same person sabotaged us there. Keep your eyes peeled, man. Gil, were you with Prowler Unit at the uni? Uni, good lord, where are they, British? Uni. Hearing all kinds of rumors that Jack Joyce took out 7 squads on his own. They're saying he's Chronon active, without any kind of tech. We're getting stories about him freezing operators, disappearing into thin air, even heard one about him being in 2 places at the same damn time. I thought it was all bullshit, but we just got word that his transport went missing after it entered Ground Zero perimeter. How the hell does that even happen? We got reason to be alarmed? They ain't telling us shit over here. Ashton. Let's go look at the map.
Ground Zero. That's the same area my brother used to have his workshop.
You mean the place where we just were?
I may have to pass through there to get to Paul.
Paul? As in Paul Serene? That's why you're going to the dry docks.
We have unfinished business. You may want to stay here until I'm done.
Yeah. I think you're right. I'll open the door for you.
Okay. Stay in contact. Find a radio. I'll be on channel 3.
I have to remember, so like,
And be careful.
Paul
Yeah,
comes back in
me too.
time 5 minutes, and then I forget, how does he get back to 1989? I
Mr.
forget.
Serene's chopper is inbound for...
Hey, Clarice? That you?
This is HQ Alpha. Charlie, I told you to stay off the operations channel.
Sure, Clarice, listen. Hatch told me to search for Joyce. I've got footage of Burke taking out
Seriously,
a guard
don't worry
in
about
A1.
me.
Actual
Just
Monarch truck was left
do what
over.
you need
Now
to
I'm
do.
checking cameras in A3 and guards are either sleeping on the job or, not sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Catch my drift?
Joyce.
With a trajectory towards kicking over some expensive-ass sandcastles. Look, I'm gonna keep looking for him. I'm just giving you a heads up, okay? Over an hour or whatever.
Oh dear. Seems that somebody got a bit of a headache there. Like a bullet to the face.
Still no word on Joyce's location.
Yeah, I heard his brother scream like a bitch when he died.
Wait, what?
When he shows his face, I'll make him do the same.
Son of a...
We're under attack!
Boom! Time blast! There you go. And down, down. Time blast! Boom! Through the power of time, I am able to make things explode. Just proving that in time, all things do explode. Where's he getting all this ammunition?
I found a radio. You okay?
Still kicking.
Monarch radio is lighting up. They heard a noise and know you're coming. Be careful out there.
Oh, do they? That's unfortunate.
Thanks for the heads up.
You keep that weapon handy, sir. Where are you hiding that anyway? Your prison pocket? Holy crap. I know it's like a... it's a shorter barrel M4. Or, sorry, AR-15. My bad. Sorry. M4 is the non-civilian variant or whatever. I don't even know. The M4 is the non-civilian variant. What is up with these freaking weirdo drawings? Alright. Wait, did I miss something in here? Whee! Alright, no, that is over there, it looks like. Excellent. Okay. We will make it work. I will make it legal. Use your time explosion powers.
Contact!
Oh, great.
Shotgunner advancing on hostile!
Man, that you can't hit in that close range with a shotgun. Boom! Oh, ow, 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 ow. Going down. Oh, snap. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Owie. Ow. Nope. Wrong way. Wrong way again. There we go. Time explosion again! Okay, good. Now you're dead. Excellent. Alright, let me guess. Oh, sweet. Now I can have real gun. To go along with BB gun. Oh, you're dead. Sir, it's gonna suck for you to wake up with bullets in your face. I hate the fact that it loves my left shoulder so much. Advanced SMG. Hello. What is this here? Well, you're dead. You know, I'm starting to think Monarch is not as jovial as its Venture Brothers counterpart. And that makes me sad. Because the Mighty Monarch is a wonderful, wonderful character. Okay, bye, I guess. You're just gonna keep... Okay, alright, you're going that way. Alright, you are adamant that that is the way you're heading. Uh-oh. They spawned in some more bad guys. Boom! Luckily, I can make time... I don't understand how I can make time just explode. Go down. There we go. Look at this fancy schmancy doodad that, you know... Oh, ow, 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 ow! Go away. That hurt, bastard. If I could blow up time, if I could find a way, I would surely, surely, surely blow it all away. 'Cause I can blow up. Oh god.
I'm taking him down.
Oof. That didn't last very long. Stop flipping over my left shoulder, damn it. It is like your favorite thing to do in this game. It's like, what if you had your... Are you left-handed? No. What if you were left-handed? Boom! How do you feel about time explosion? I'm just gonna keep doing that. I don't even care if it's... Again, every single time. It just loves my left shoulder. Stop it.
Still okay.
Is there a way to, like, set your default shoulder or something? Toggle camera. It just loves that shoulder. I do not know why. Time power assist and vertical aim assist, power assist. Oh, choose whether you assist while aiming your time. No, I don't want that. Well, what the hell is the time power assist thing earlier? Was the? Oh, I guess it's aim assist really. Aim assist. What? I thought I turned this all off. Oh, mouse. Okay, those are okay. Vibration strength. I want it to be a vibrator with 4 D cells in it, sir. Is there a way I can set my default show? Obviously not. They do, obviously the person that designed this is left-handed.
Any idea where I go next?
Because what's really helpful
Gatehouse Squad was talking about
is just that right there.
measures to lock some door on the 2nd floor.
I'm right-handed. Give me a right-handed view. Period. Do I see... What is that? Man, that little shifting thing has got a bit of a delay on it. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's weirding me out. Alright, what's this? Oh, it's just that. Okay. Alright, I have, what is it, T? No, wrong thing. Diaries and upgrades. Okay, increase size. Ooh, increase the size of time stop. Maximum focus, recovery time, increased power, increased blast radius. Do I really want to do that? No, I do not. Activity pulse, using time dodge and time rush will temporarily reveal enemy positions. I don't really see the value in that, honestly. Time dodge, increased focus. I'll purchase that. Yeah, I'll purchase that. Now, do I have any more? No, I don't. Luckily for me, I'm sure the game is far from over. Now, let's go see if I can...
Jack, the husky lady on Monarch Radio seems to be unable to reach Gatehouse Squad. Remember the geared-up soldiers I mentioned who do the teleporty stuff you do?
Yeah.
Apparently, they're intending to say hi back with a grudge. So there's that. Regarding some kind of chronon particle harvesting operation. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm looking into it. Keep you posted.
So I can mess with time indirectly. Mr. Hatch, I've been monitoring company email servers and found something interesting. Just thought you might want to know that your golden boy has been a bit snoopy as of late. Attaching this email below. Beth, I'm starting to grow suspicious about what's going on here. I have a hunch you feel the same way. I've been allowed a lot of freedom to come and go in my position, but it comes at a cost of very low clearance. Most members of the team know something I don't, and they're not eager to share. Tomorrow's operation is more than a simple retrieval mission. There are dates and times marked with detailed events that are expected to come to pass. I've seen charts with fracture, 4:15 a.m. labeled. It's way too much detail for a plan. It's like it's all been mapped out. How? Something big is coming, I can feel it. They told us our directive is to protect our world from dangers that lie ahead. If that's so, then why do I get the feeling there's nothing coming that we're doing absolutely nothing to stop? Sorry, something coming that we're doing absolutely nothing to stop. And if everybody else knows this, then why the hell is nobody acting on it? I can't sit back and watch if there's even a chance that this could put Emily in danger. I need to know more. Serene won't answer my messages. Hatch is a closed book. I'm hoping you are an open one. Liam. You know, you should always tell your IT guy everything.
Turn off security.
He knows it anyway.
Uh-oh. Jack, they're coming your way.
Ooh, they are they now? Oh no! A fight's out! I'm gonna bust Joe! Lights out! Luckily for me, they're carrying... I mean, you spent all this money, and the best he could do... The best he can do is guys in puff jackets and flak armor. Is this really the best you got, buddy? Boom, 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 boom. Man, I'm a really good shot with a pistol these things, I'm not gonna lie. Boom! Time stop! And time explosion! Ow, ow. Too far.
Reloading! I'm reloading!
How are you not dead yet?
Stay clear!
Shield! There we go. You see, I don't actually need to be good at this. I just need to find cover and just shoot you in the face. Alright, who's left? There you are. Time explosion! What if you never stopped having hand grenades? What then? And the answer is that. This definitely reminds me of Control. Like, it is 100% like Control. Although this is a much more watered down version of Control. Control gets a lot better. Although Control's story makes... I mean, I'd have to go back and That was weird. I'd have to go back and replay it to get the story right. Just because I don't really understand what happened in Control. It was all sorts of weirdness.
Jack?
Oh, we gotta do the ear thing.
I did some digging. This Chronon operation is harvesting some kind of fuel. It's used to power a device called the CFR. Ever heard of it?
CFR? No, what is it?
I'm not sure, but it looks like it's at the center of everything Monarch's doing. The thing they stole from the university, this operation, everything's linked to the CFR somehow.
What the hell is Paul up to?
You know, it occurs to me. Paul comes back, Jack does not.
I'm queuing up the presentation to make sure everybody remembers the essentials before we proceed.
Sophia
Hello.
Amaral.
I'm Dr. Sophia Amaral.
Monarch's resident Chronon scientist.
Monarch has made vast
She must know a lot of the same stuff Will
in
did.
the area of Meyer-Joyce particles, better known as Chronon particles.
Stay sharp,
July
he's here!
4th, 2020.
Whee! Yeah!
Located within the Riverport Industrial Zone.
Oops, wrong button.
Extremely
Is it not working? I thought the whole point of this was to like unload. Okay, whatever, fine. Can you explode, please? Hello. Ow! Ow! Owie, 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 owie. Stop flipping over to my left shoulder. You're driving me insane. How are you not dead yet? Dude! How are you not dead yet? Thank you. Aye, aye.
and shifts without warning.
There we go.
We know that the fracture will occur on October 8th, 2016. We hypothesize that from this point forward, chronon levels in Ground Zero will slowly deplete until time and ceases. For this reason, all harvesting necessary for the CFR.
Only 4 bullets in your uber fancy pistol. Headshot.
Gotta find a way out of here.
I don't know, maybe I should just stick with the regular pistol. Wait, what? Gotta find a way out of here. I thought I just came from there.
No clear exit down here. May have to head upward.
Okay. Is this where
There's gotta be something I can use to get up there.
Hold on, isn't this where I came from? Is this not... what was that? Burst fire pistol. Hello. Hello, yeah, I like that. Isn't that where I just came from? Literally? Find a way through the warehouse. I just came through here. Oh. Okay, thank you, video game. Thank you so much for all of your help. I really appreciate it. Now, let's see. Can I... No, I cannot. I need to find a way. There's a porta potty I can jump. Nope, can't jump that. Can't jump that. So they've got a time machine. I mean, who would really want to go back and mess with time? I mean, really, like, if you were able to actually do that, I mean, who would you ever? What up, Mr. Guns and Knives? See, I'm just waxing philosophical. At least I'm about to start waxing philosophical because no one's saying anything. So I'm just gonna start waxing her on and being retarded. And I mean, really, who would want to go back in time and change anything, right? Like, I mean, in reality. Because if you don't understand what you're doing, you think this is a great idea. Nothing bad's going to happen. If you do understand what you're doing, that's a horrible thing to do. Because then what you end up with is you end up like, okay, well, there's a possibility that when you're doing that, hello, there is a thing over here I get to read. Sending a quick email to make sure that all divisions of the Chronon R&D department are on schedule. As you know, Monarch will be moving to Phase 3 on October 9th upon completion of the University operation. High-level milestone deliverables for Phase 2 are as follows. Ground Zero harvesting OP by the end of Phase 2. We expect to have officially harvested enough Chronon particles from the Ground Zero operation to fuel necessary Chronon tech indefinitely. Access to the red zone should be completely prohibited from this point forward. All harvesting equipment will be dismantled and returned to Monarch Tower during Phase 3. CFR research. All research regarding the CFR must be complete, and the CFR must be returned to Monarch Tower for safekeeping. Lifeboat. Didn't they just talk about how the lifeboat wasn't supposed to be public knowledge? Prototype testing phase of the lifeboat should be complete. Further testing will commence once the CFR is returned to Monarch Tower. Chronon Tech. Alpha Beta Tech must be complete for all armor and weaponry. Beta Tech will commence during Phase 3. Dampener must have reached approved proof of concept deliverables. Please read the milestone booklet to make sure all department deliverables are achieved. Dr. Sophia Amaral, Head of Research. I will go back in time and help the Confederacy win the Civil War. Why? It's a genuine question. Why? Because here's the thing. Both sides were awful. But even then, like, okay, what happens if you win, right?
Average elevator.
You end up with a divided States of America. You end up with a nation that is in turmoil and probably self-destructs. So,
I found documents here about some kind of private gala Marnek is hosting.
I mean, imagine World War I or II with the divided States of America, right?
After everything that's happened.
It has something to do with their future plans. Serene's delivering a speech, and the guest list has everybody from Monarch higher-ups to big-shot scientists to the mayor of Riverport, which raises the question, why now?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
I want the South to be its own nation. See, again, I hear what you're saying, but think of the long-lasting consequences of such a thing. So let's say that you do that, right? You have a divided nation. The South becomes its own nation, independent of everyone else. Okay, that's fine. I'm not against having the idea. I mean, honestly, sometimes I wish we were. But you end up with... again, think of all the stuff that comes with that, right? There's going to be a lot more stuff that you will have to worry about in the future if that happens. So, I mean, imagine a world where, like, World War I doesn't happen. Does World War II happen? It probably does, but far worse, because it doesn't actually solve the problem. I mean, think of it this way. The Civil War almost sparks off like 3 times. It just didn't quite hit that critical mass, right? it takes a few things that build momentum to the point where the Civil War becomes inevitable. Like, there's just no way around it. You can't get away from it. Because of these decisions that are made over and over and over and over and over again. Even if you could actually get the South to win, I would say that the best thing you could do is to go back and actually stop the Civil War from happening, but it would have just been bloodier the second time over. Or World War I would play out about the same as in our timeline. Maybe. So, but again, remember, there's a lot of different things that are going to happen in World War I and World War II. So World War II happens on a larger scale than World War I. It's just that, again, the events would more than likely happen. It's just they wouldn't be the exact same. Like, the problems with World War I is that it depleted Europe of its manpower and absolutely shattered its soul. I mean, for better or worse, Europe essentially dies after World War I. It's on borrowed time. What the hell? World War II is the last gasp of
Getting
it.
closer, I think. Now, which way's the dry dock?
And that's why, you know, the United States basically takes over the role of, like, hegemon, is that all the European powers are absolutely destitute of people and money and infrastructure.
I got that briefcase we lifted from William Joyce's car. Laid out the contents in the trailer. You want me to go through?
No. Serene wants the first look. Till then, hands off.
Very good. So I'm not saying that there wouldn't be anything that I would, you know, the butterfly effect comes into place, and it's just, how would you know what to do and what not to do? Trailer generator capped itself, hooked up the car, and used it until maintenance gets around this. Okay. My personal opinion is that anything you go back and change, even something as simple as, oh, I'm going to make sure that, like, Granddad has lots of money. Well, then you might not exist. I'm going to make sure I have lots of money. Okay, well, you may not exist to go back and make this decision. Like, there's a bunch of paradoxes that start happening when this occurs. And you can't fiddle with it too much without just completely upsetting a timeline.
Okay, looks like the trailer has power now.
Paul's men had taken the briefcase from Will's car, dumped the contents on the table. Will had said he needed something from his briefcase to stop the fracture.
Bradbury swimming. Wow, that's a
there,
massive.
His phone and a key to the Bradbury swimming pool. Not the most obvious clues.
Jack, it's Beth.
Jack?
Monarch just got footage of your lady friend sniffing around some confidential Monarch files. Kind of a big no-no around here.
Amy, I gotta go back for her.
Oh my gosh.
I'll pick her up.
Oh, that's
Where
nice.
are you?
I'm on my way to Paul at the dry docks.
Serene's not the priority. I'm getting you out of there. I'll meet you at the dry docks. Channel 1 is the Monarch frequency. Use it to keep ahead of them. And Jack, don't do anything stupid.
Thanks for
What
the
does
vote of
that?
confidence.
What does that even mean? Don't do these. You don't know, and that's why your actions lead to inevitability. You don't know why you. Wait, you don't know, and that's why your actions lead to inevitability. You can't change the timeline for anything you've experienced. Otherwise, that would prevent you from reaching where you are. Exactly. See, like, once you've changed something, you ultimately change everything that led to that decision, therefore creating a paradox. By you going back and messing with yourself, even for your own benefit, you would essentially create something that would lead to a different outcome. Now, I would say that if you're like, hey, you know what? I should have gone and had that steak instead of the pizza.
Amy.
Okay.
You okay out there?
All right, fine. Like, I mean, that's a small change. It might change certain things, but it won't change the big stuff. Like, you know, unless, of course, being at that restaurant was an important thing that you were supposed to do. The Confederacy would have probably taken over Cuba and northern Mexico to have access to the Pacific. Hopefully, it would have been bought northern Mexico. I imagine the U.S. would take over parts of Canada. See, I don't think that happens. I think that by both... See, here's the thing. You're looking at this from the perspective that both sides kind of live and let live. I don't think that happens. In the event of the Confederacy leaving, because of the animosity and the amount of lives that are lost in the Civil War, I think what it does is it turns into our World War I. It is just such a bloody, horrible ordeal that the North and South essentially are at each other's throats and they just can't get along. And once that happens, all economic unity, all of our economic power goes out the window. You are inclined to live and let live, but people in 1860, they wouldn't. So again, like you would have a North Korean, South Korean DMZ thing at best, and at worst you would have the Hatfields and the McCoys playing out all over the Mason-Dixon line. Like, I mean, it just, I hear what you're saying, is that it might have been better for certain people to have gotten away and just kind of let bygones be bygones. But now you have a neighboring nation that you've gone to war with on your border. It is your largest border. And you are going to militarize the ever-loving shit out of it. Because you don't want these people who are pissed off at you to be walking back and forth across your border. And by the way, they have the same constitution as you and quote-unquote have the exact same rights to the land and ideas as the things that you claim. Therefore, you can't let that go. That war never ends. Even in order for that to happen, one would have to defeat the other. There is no way a civil war ends where it doesn't automatically consume the other half, or it destroys everything about it to where people don't even care, and the nation is reforged from scratch. Because, again, I would argue that there are certain arguments the South makes that are actually correct. It's just that everything about the South and what they were doing I don't really like. The North is run by a bunch of fucking commies. Well, not really. The communism isn't there really yet, but it's run by communist sympathizers like Abraham Lincoln. Although I don't think they call it communism yet. Hey, Dr. Amaro. We haven't talked too much, but I'm one of Serene's guys from Reaper Squad, working around all this time tech stuff, or chronon tech as you call it, I guess. Got me real inspired, so I started writing a screenplay. There's a lot of science talk in here, so I want a scientist to check it and make sure it kind of makes sense. Would you mind taking a look? Thanks. Here's the first half. I am not reading that. I am not going to read a shitty screenplay. Nothing changes. We move forward. The university fallout was a setback, but we can use the complications to our advantage. Paul is focused on Phase 3 of the plan. He is questioning if there are traitors within Monarch, but I am confident that he does not know where to look for them. I will make sure to shift the blame elsewhere. The gala is going ahead tonight. That is when we make our next move. Whoa. Looks like Martin Hatch is a traitor. You take care of preparations. Make sure Dr. Kim's lab is ready for detonation. I'll make sure that Paul is sufficiently distracted as to not question our involvement. Wow. The university operation gathered far more attention than we expected. How does this impact our agenda moving forward? I'm concerned that Paul Serene will be paying closer attention to our actions. Perhaps we should delay making our move until things calm down. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that should you do that, America cannot get involved in World War I. And even though I would agree with that sentiment, I think that creates a weaker Europe, and I think World War II gets worse. I think it gets bloodier. I think it gets a lot harsher. And I think that communism actually does end up taking over everything. Well, the U.S. and Great Britain wasn't like that after the American Revolution and War of 1812. That's true, but they didn't share a land border. And that's the biggest thing. They don't share a land border. What the hell's happening up there? Most nations, like after World War I mean, think of World War I and all the casualties there. Everybody who shared a land border were pissed off at each other. Everyone. And by the way, Germany was just the ire of all that. They were the easy scapegoat, but everybody hated each other. They shared a border with the British ruled Canada. Yeah, but the Canadians themselves, although they were involved in the War of 1812, there wasn't enough of a population at the War of 1812, and there wasn't really a big deal between Canada and America. Like, even after the War of 1812, we moved our capital, and we were like, okay, fine, whatever, fine, screw off. But even then, they couldn't do much to us. It's just that we were not able to do much to them. We still traded with each other, and today most Americans and Brits don't think about it that much, and like each other for the most part. I think the CSA and the USA would eventually have a similar relationship. I think that relationship is a lot harder to do because the border is much bigger. We both lay claim to the exact same thing, and we would have laid claim to the exact same territory, rights, and responsibilities. And I think that's where we would have a problem. Unlike the United States and Great Britain, we don't, like, after the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, the British said, look, we lost, just we don't have time for you. And we won. They didn't try to come back. They didn't try to kind of sit there and do that. But neither did they actually say, oh, we're going to keep our rights to it and we'll just come back later. No. Their constitution or their way of governorship is very different from the way we govern ourselves. So for the North and South to still be at each other's throats, I'm not convinced that would end up the same way. Because on a logical level, does that make sense? Kind of, yeah. But the problem is that you would have just had the America's bloodiest war. Families are absolutely destroyed, and there is no end. There's absolutely zero end to what just happened. It's just, yeah, your sons and daughters died for nothing. I don't see that playing out as well as people might want. Hooray! Did you just say Cheez-Its? Jesus.
Explosion near the harvesting perimeter.
No, you didn't.
Can't take a wild guess who that could have been.
Charlie, get off the line. Striker team, take defensive positions around ground zero.
Roger.
But yeah, I think that the United States... But again, there are some places where... I mean, the United States still had some weird tensions with England after, like, the Civil... I keep saying the Civil War. The Revolutionary War. And granted, it doesn't last forever because they've got other stuff.
As soon as I saw the old billboard on top.
The area we refer to as Ground Zero.
It was clear that the workshop was at the center of the market. I wanted to see
Whee! But again, I also think that because of a divided United States of America, our economic power never gets as big as it is now. I think that World War II happens, but in a much smaller way. But I say smaller. It's smaller from a military perspective, but I think that it also... what's the word I'm looking for?
Backup approaching green zone.
I think communism takes over. I think communism wins. You've got, because again, you've got other nations that would be trading with us. Their economic power also relies partially on us. There's so many different things that happen at this point. Oh, geez, there's two of them. Holy crap. Have you tried Time Bomb? Nope, there you have it. Sorry. Hold on, I'll read that in a second. No, you're not. Short control bursts. Dude, there's no way you are surviving this many shots to the chest, even if that's a 9mm. Just die. Finally. Oh, hello.
No.
Who's shooting at me? How dare you? Who told you that you're allowed to shoot bullets in my direction?
We're experiencing signs of an incoming stutter.
Safeguard. I want Joyce contained before that stutter hits.
So they have Tourette's. Time has Tourette's. Got it. Ammunition. Down you go. What's compromised?
Hang in there.
Boom! Uh-oh.
Approaching. Gates locked.
Gates locked.
I'm coming through.
Uh-oh. Gates locked. Whee! Whoa! Oh crap! Come on. They brought a freaking truck to a gunfight. It's not fair.
Nice work, you guys.
Okay. Alright, I guess this is done. Let's go looking for stuff that we need. Nothing here. The South with its agriculture and the North with its factories would force good relations with each other through trade. And as for slavery, I believe the South would have ended a few decades after the war when it would have gotten more developed. So that was kind of already on its way, right? Slavery was inevitably going to end. It was being... Because again, even the founders recognized that it had to end. It's just that the North... Well... quick history lesson, the North just demanded it end sooner than they were, the South was ready to give it up. Because you're right, you're not wrong about that. It would have gone away eventually. I know everybody's like, but more racism. No, people in the South were just like, look, this is just the way things have been done for a long time. And it would have been better had that happened, to be honest. I think that slavery has just absolutely damaged people and this nation in a way that's very, very difficult to describe.
Paul developed technology for his men to move through stutters. He knew the fracture would occur, prepared for it.
Oh, shit.
And he never tried to stop it.
Oh, hello. Bye. Advanced Tactical SMG. There we go. Oh, so I can't use powers on them, huh? Boom! How about that? They had to give me some enemies that I can't just absolutely waffle stomp, huh? But again, I'm just thinking about like major wars and major events after the fact. I just don't see them. I don't see them. I don't see them playing out the same way. And I think that based on the way tensions have been since the Civil War, and the butthurt feelings that caused, and for good reason, right? I mean, again, like again, brothers and fathers and sons were killing each other. That's gonna breed some bad blood. A lot of bad blood. The U.S. could have ended slavery without a war like Brazil did. Brazil fought all bought all the slaves and freed the slaves. Lincoln was just a power-hungry tyrant. I agree.
Prepared me for the weirdness that was waiting there.
I agree. Lincoln was a tyrant.
Prelude to the bad stuff that would follow.
The former Whig turned Republican. I will say though, sadly enough, this is basically how the Republican Party gets its start. Really, I mean, not exactly, but it's close enough. But yeah, I don't think that the kid. I would say if I was going to be able to go back and do change time, it might be either the election of Barry Goldwater, or I would go back and tell the founders like, no, you need to have like a balanced budget amendment when you do this. Like, you cannot do this any other way.
Absolutely no entry. I'm pretty sure that's more of a guideline than a rule.
Yeah, that's exactly how that's how you should see it. That's how I see it.
What the hell? What is this?
You're seeing yourself, sir. But there are certain things that I would go back and be like, look, in hindsight, they'd be really, really useful to have as a nation. Like, hey, look,
happened.
We already have, like we technically, per the Constitution, all transactions between states and government need to be done in gold and silver. And we have gone away from that. But it is still technically in the Constitution. That doesn't stop it. What I would have also added was like, no, you also need to do a balanced budget thing. Like, you cannot not make a budget. You can't just borrow money or print money. I would have also had them clarify a few things.
I specifically requested copper-clad niobium.
Well.
Huh. So maybe this is how he finds out. Maybe I'm fiddling around with him in different time spaces. I don't know.
There's no words to describe it. Will was gone, but he was all around me.
Well,
This
yeah.
entire secret life he'd never talked about. Everything he tried to protect me from, it surrounded me. A puzzle. Trapped in broken time.
You know,
we all thought he wasted his research grant, his career, obsessing over some failed experiment. That's what he led us to believe. What he built there, it never failed.
It works. It works.
Uh-oh. That's not good. It works, and then just disappears. That's a bad sign. It's usually a bad sign. Another thing I'd want to do with the time machine is assassinate Karl Marx, Hitler, and Woodrow Wilson. Here's the thing. If you can stop World War I, Hitler doesn't become a problem. Not really. Because Hitler's rise to fame starts with him in World War I. So if you can actually undo...
My grant extended another year. Please, don't do this.
What the heck? Alright, trippy. So technically he could still be alive in a weird way. Actually, no, he still dies in the timeline, so it doesn't matter. Karl Marx, I more understand, but Karl Marx...
Countermeasure. I hope to God this works.
Will.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, or you either save him, or you would disrupt the assassination attempt on him. But even then, I think that no matter what you do, like, is the Terminator timeline, is that events are going to happen, right? There are events that are going to happen regardless of what you do in time. So, much in the same vein that there have been moments in time, like right now, we were looking at... Let's look at this one. Let's look at time travel like we're looking at it right now. Let's say that right now, England is trying its best to do this peaceably, right? They're trying to undo 20 years of unlimited migration, right? Let's wait. This is obviously a cutscene coming up.
I can survive this. You're the only other one who's seen what I've seen. Don't do it, don't. Give me the device.
I knew something went horribly wrong there, but it was scrambled. It's impossible to crack.
You only postponed it. Judgment Day is inevitable. Terminator. Yeah, pretty much. You're not wrong. That's exactly right. You've only postponed it. You've pushed it back. And the problem with pushing things back, like, the British government's going to find this out, and we are all going to find this out. I'm not looking forward to this, by the way. I want to make that perfectly clear. The world in which the British get what they ask for will be fucking terrifying. Because eventually, if the more they bottle this up, the more the British government fights this, the more they're going to have to be more draconian. The more draconian they get, the more violent this is going to become, and the more blanket statement this is going to become. And so instead of it being, hey, we're going to get rid of all the troublemakers, which is what this started off as, we're going to get, you know what? You don't look British. I don't care if you sound British or were born here. Get out. And we're going to make you get out.
It was overwhelming. Every unanswered question I had was compounded by what I'd seen at that workshop. The events at the university were part of something much bigger. Something that had started 17 years ago.
And so if you were to look at
dry
this...
dock. Get to the dry dock.
If you were going to look at this as like the current scenario that we're in right now, as like involving time travel... Because if it exists, it's already been done, right? Obviously. Amy Ferreira is the goddamn security station on... Is in the... my understanding was that Amy Ferreira was supposed to be recording a series of false confessions for our PR campaign. Clearly, that's not the case. How do I know she's unsupervised? Because A, she's in the goddamn security station, and B, she's digging through sensitive Monarch files and transferring them to a USB stick. No big deal, just, you know, all of Monarch's secrets. Radio alert is already in effect. Converge on our location immediately. Do not let the USB stick leave this operation. Oh, And remember Jack Joyce, the guy you were supposed to stop from turning our entire operation into a clusterfuck? Maybe get on that while we still have an operation left? Can you just act like this was your natural environment, you know, like a high school locker room, and he's the kid who could read a full sentence without moving his lips and just fuck him up? Charlie. Well, they should. Roughly 2,000 Britain was 99% white. I mean, again, yes, but I always have an ethical problem with, like, there's the ethics question, right? Even if you get what you want, by attaining it through maybe unethical means, you have inevitably changed the thing you were trying to save. You know, that's kind of the thing, is the soul of a nation is going to be based off this people and its principles. Eventually people are going to get so tired and sick of it that they'll accept something worse. And people, you know, the example people give is Hitler, and my response is no. It'll be more like a king who is going to be chosen by them, and as we all know, kings are, you know, always going to end up well. Except they will welcome him there.
There was something wrong with Paul.
Why could she do that? This is the question, since they can shut down or access
powers much longer than
any
me.
file repositories.
What was the cause? Was I sick as well, or was it his time travel? I didn't know. It didn't make anything he'd done any less hateful.
Fiona, I share your concern. Paul's treatments are becoming increasingly ineffective, and I hypothesize that the onset of the fracture will increase the Chronon Syndrome's rate of progression exponentially. I've been trying to take a more calculated approach at finding a permanent cure for Paul's sickness, but Martin Hatch has shifted all the necessary resources into our tech division instead. I'm beginning to question his behavior. Every attempt I've made to discover a cure has been met with Martin's red tape. Just between us, I do start to wonder if Martin even wants Paul to be cured. I've looked into Martin's past. He began work for Monarch in 2001, but I couldn't find any records about his past or any aspect of his life before then. Ooh, he's a time traveler. It's almost as if he disappeared out of nowhere. He was the only one present during the accident that claimed Dr. Kim's life. I don't want to jump to the conclusions, but I do wonder what his agenda truly is. Regarding your question, unfortunately, there is nothing of value in Dr. Kim's lab aside from Paul Serene's treatments and confidential files that would be of no use to your research. We will have to find another way to develop a cure. I'm Team King Carl Benjamin. He is. I like Sargon. I like Carl, but he is, in my opinion, one of the worst people you could ever give power to. He is a philosopher. He has ideas. I'm not saying they're bad ideas, but he accepts a few premises that I think are extremely evil, and one of them being that collectivism is acceptable under certain circumstances, and that by itself makes sense to an extent. I'd have to go back and watch a few of these. There was something I was thinking about just the other day, actually, where he was, what was it? He was discussing something, and I could hear the tone, or not the tone, I could hear the underlying argument, which was, yeah, but our collective will be better. And again, I don't want it to be like, oh, well, no, like Americans are better than these people, they're better than. No, I'm not saying that. It was something else, and I can't remember what it was, but he was accepting a premise, a Marxist premise that I would say, if you handed him power, his ideas of philosophy, his take on faith, his take on belief would be an absolute catastrophic nightmare for England. And I don't say that lightly because I like him. I think he's got a lot of stuff that he's doing right, but I think that he wants to win this fight so bad. Our collectively better sounds far too close to real communism, hasn't been tried. That's kind of the point, is that I'm not saying that a nation where you have homogeneity is bad. I don't think it's inherently good. I also don't think it's inherently bad. I think that when you say that, what did he say? Good Lord. I wish I could remember what it was, because there was something that he said that made me just go, it just came out, kind of made my ears prick up. It was like, when I heard Ben Shapiro at one point, the reason why I stopped listening to Ben Shapiro at one point is, he said something about, support of Israel. And I said, we're done. I don't need to hear a single word you say now. I don't trust you at all. Like, if your answer is, Israel first, no matter what, because that you're a Jewish person, then I don't care what you have to say, because I'm not on your side. You and I may walk the same path every now and again, but we are not on the same side. We are fellow travelers down the same road. Carl he's not a communist yet. I don't think he'll ever accept that he would ever be one. But he has this romanticized version of what the kingdom should look like, but he doesn't want to believe it's a kingdom. And that's kind of the scary part. Again, I really wish I could remember what it was that he said, but it was just like, brother, I think you're walking down a path that if we were to follow there, if people were to really follow that way, and I'm not saying that what you're talking about is 100% bad. I think that you would quickly find yourself... he's never struck me as a communist. He's not, but he accepts the premise, which means that all you're going to be doing is prolonging the inevitable, right? Like, if you want to really break it down, the real, like, fight for our time is not one about communism or freedom, because I don't believe capitalism is a system. I believe capitalism is a lack of system. It is human nature. It is the basest form of human nature. You have something I want, and I'm willing to pay you for it. Okay, it's going to cost this much. That's all it is. That is the quote-unquote term capitalism. And I think that, again, I think it's a slur word made up by communists, to be perfectly honest. Capitalism did not exist, quote-unquote, in any history book up until, what, the 60s? I mean, it was just, hey, natural... I guess they probably had it before the 60s. But we never just referred to it as capitalism. It's a dirty word made up by commies, in my opinion. Fiona, William Joyce is dead. Our only shot at stopping this thing is Jack. He can lead us to the countermeasure. I still believe that. Serene got to Jack first at the university. Too much heat for me to intervene. He's being moved to Ground Zero. I am following the convoy there and will rescue him once his transport is past security checkpoints. Not going to be easy, but it might be our only shot. Keep Charlie Wincott distracted so he's not looking over the security feeds. My cover won't last much longer. You need to be my eyes on the inside. I agree. You should check into Dr. Kim's lab and let me know what you find. I know gaining access will be difficult, but the gala tonight, you might have a window. Might be able to steal Dr. Amaril's keycard. I will contact you once I'm on the other side. It's not that he's a communist. He's not. It's just that he accepts the premise. So even if you handed him power, he would inevitably end up going into the same direction as the communists. Even if he disagrees with how far they go, he agrees with some of their premises. And that's kind of the problem. And I wish I could remember what it is that he said, because I was sitting there and like my ears perked up and I said, well, that sounds very similar to what I've heard before, and it doesn't end well. And again, I hate saying that because I like him. I like him. I followed him since before he started the Lotus Eaters, and I still listen to him. I do. I think that it's not that he doesn't have anything good to say. But I think that right now, the person that you'd want leading, like, the United Kingdom would be, honestly, like a rugged American who's like, no. I mean, if you want to give that guy on a that'd probably be the best person to give to England, because then they have no stake in what was, and he has this romanticized view of it. Racism is another word invented by communists, because this
Jack,
starting a class...
you have to understand that Will forced my hand.
What the hell happened to you?
There's no use fighting.
You killed him!
I'll explain when the time is right. You'll meet me tonight at the Monarch Gala.
Gala? Time's ending and you're having a fucking party.
Because when time ends, my plan...
We do this now. I'm not meeting you at...
Yes, you are. I've already seen it happen.
Seen what? What's this all for?
Goodbye, Jack.
No!
Racism is another word invented by communists, because this starting a class war in America wasn't working like it did in Russia and Europe, because they're homogeneous societies. Not anymore, they're not. And you're not wrong about that either, but I don't think it was a made-up term. Sir, given the very recent events at the dry docks, I now see exactly what you mean. Clearly you are right about Burke's loyalties being more fickle than they appeared. Of course, we have plenty of unanswered questions about how it came to this. To begin with, I don't see why Burke would be involved with Joyce. There's no way he did it out of some kind of an altruistic urge. There has to be more to it. We know Burke didn't divert Joyce's transport, since whereabouts at that time are accounted for, so there has to be somebody else involved too. I'm looking into it. I am not reading that next part. Okay. there's a lot of stuff that went into that, but you're not wrong. Like, communists found the race war to be much more useful than class war because they realized very early on that Americans had more than everybody else, and they had enough. And that was kind of the problem, is that, you know, most Americans had what they needed and then some. And when you compared them to their European counterparts, they had more. So why would they... How are you going to convince them that they need... that they're being oppressed whenever they have what they need? So what do? You have to create the oppression. Now, they weren't wrong about certain things. This is the problem, is that you can't just lie to somebody and expect them to believe you. No, you need to mix it with the truth. And that's the hard part, right? Straight up lies, those are easy to figure out. That's the easy part. The hard part is separating the truth from the lie. Martin, first of all, I have to again register my objection. What you are having me do under the guise of a psych evaluation is blatant violation of Liam Burke's doctor-patient confidentiality, and the only reason I'm doing this is because you leave me no other choice. Well, that's easy. Now, I recognize that in the world to come, our current rules and legislation, even our standards of morality, may no longer be applicable. But we aren't there yet. You and Mr. Serene are placing the long-term mental well-being of hundreds of individuals in my hands, and I'm telling you right now, if they don't trust not only me, but the system that put all of us in our particular positions, there's no way we can recover from it. That is true. On to Burke. It is my considered professional opinion that man is a bit of a powder keg. For all his calm exterior, he's under tremendous pressure. I understand your reasoning for pulling him out of the Striker program, but what you have essentially done is instill in him a sense of encroaching doom. He doesn't know the specifics, obviously. He didn't make it far enough in the program to be briefed on that, but he knows that we're preparing for a future threat that is somehow related to the flow of time being interrupted. And that there are dangers out there. Dangers that we have specifically been training the Striker units for. There are... Okay, there's a novel. There are men who are content to merely follow orders and let others worry about the consequences. Burke is not one of them. He is willing to commit acts of violence without asking why, but don't mistake the lack of qualms for blind obedience. Burke needs agency. He has a fundamental need to feel in control of his life, and you have put him in a position where that's no longer possible for him. He's good at seeing patterns and drawing accurate conclusions from the facts available to him, and he has deduced, quite correctly, that he was being trained for a specific scenario that Monarch believes will happen. He is also painfully aware of the fact that if and when that scenario arrives, he will not be a part of the solution. He understands the nature of the Striker suits, that they are only useful in a zero-state situation, and he understands that in such a situation a man without a Striker suit is essentially dead. He doesn't know about the lifeboat protocol, obviously, but if he did, he'd then also know he's not a part of it. Either way, the bottom line is that he's in a hopeless situation. He fears that the end of the world is coming, and he knows that if it does, the only way he can survive is with the technology Monarch has denied him access to. He doesn't understand the details or even the exact nature of the end of the world, but that just makes it worse. Fear and lack of understanding breed tremendous anxiety, Mr. Hatch. He may not show it, but believe me, Mr. Burke feels it, for himself and for his family. It may interest you to know that his wife is pregnant. You can understand how that adds to the pressure. To be honest, given the parameters we're operating under, I don't know how to resolve this. In Burke, you have a tremendously efficient operative, but you've put him in an impossible situation. I believe he will remain effective as long as he doesn't have to have reason to believe the scenario he fears is imminent. But once he believes it has arrived, all bets are off. That is, unless you can give him hope of survival. But at this point, resentment and suspicion are starting to turn into paranoia, and frankly, I'm not sure he would trust either of us anymore. And speaking of trust, I recommend you think about what I said in my opening paragraph, Martin. Our greatest challenge, and greatest assets, in the subject of years to come won't be technological, but all too human. Don't make the mistake seeing people as just entries on a spreadsheet. Hold on. If he openly declares himself as a communist, we take his word for it. If a person consistently reads and advocates the views expressed in a communist publication, he may be a communist. If a person supports an organization which supports communist teachings, they may be a communist. I told you you didn't have to read these. Well, too bad. Myth leaves no word unread. I mean, I'm going to try my best. Fokker paid good money for this. And just like that movie Home Alone, he's going to get his money's worth. But no, again, like you can have, like, here's the thing. You can agree with problems that communists say exist. Obviously, nobody likes it when there's hungry people in the world. 100%. Like, if you've got a heart, they do appropriate voices. No. Alright, fine. What a fool! So I looked up Amy Ferrero. She checks out pretty much how you'd expect. Good grade, no student loans, because daddy's got money, popular, the classic. I'm better than you because I care so much. Package. Not studying anything even remotely useful. Useful in a world where you gotta work for a living. She's into this whole activist lifestyle. Always protesting this shit or that shit, and generally just hugging every tree and saving every whale she see. Yawn. On average, she's saving. We've heard the actor. He's not Ice Cube. Am I doing Ice Cube? What do you mean? If I like it when people are starving, makes me feel better about myself. You know what? It's fair. I would just say that you can see injustice in the world and call it what it is. The difference is you don't have to agree with their premise. You can agree with their premise as to there's a problem. But if you want to stay away from that, you're doing Ghetto Black. That's Ice Cube's acting. Fine. I forget what this guy sounds like, but he reminds me of, like, who's the guy that... Chris Pratt. He reminds me of Chris Pratt. That's his face. He is Chris Pratt. Just a gayer version of Chris Pratt. You know, he never says anything useful anyway, so I'm just going to skip that. But yeah, you can accept the fact that there's injustice in the world. You can even accept the fact that there's problems that maybe are not being handled on the current way that we're dealing with them. 100%. You can agree with all those things and still walk away going, no, but you're still wrong. Like, the answer to people being hungry is not to socialize food. The answer is to, he's Chris Pratt. Not only not as charming. Exactly. I mean, hell, I read the other day, or is it read? Listened? I found out the other day Chris Pratt went to a church and he was like, it was a traditional church. They were preaching anti-gay stuff, things like that. And he was getting yelled at for it. And I was like, I hope he doesn't back off that, man.
Sir.
Paul.
Come back, goddammit!
Don't.
Uh-oh. Why bother doing this if you already know he's going to survive? Just like the new War of the Worlds movie.
Holy shit!
Okay. Gotta move focus, Jack. Come on!
Some starving people in the world are unhelpable. The West gave Africans tons of seeds to start farming with and taught them how to farm. The Africans ate the seeds instead. No, see, I understand that too. I understand that there's going to be those people too, and I get it. But I'm more talking about, like, there's going to be people that don't have, like, nutrition in your own home, right? There's going to be people that may not have... Like, I mean, whenever I was growing up, there were days where we didn't know if we were going to have a meal that night. I mean, we would really wonder, like, hey, are we gonna you know, we were never, like, in fear of straight up starving, like, you know, like, oh, we're all gonna die because we don't have any food. But we did wonder, like, hey, are there gonna be days where, like, you know, are we gonna have something to eat tonight? Like, that did happen. I get it. I do. I really do. Nobody wants that. Reminds me of our Seattle. They are strange people over there. They talk about freedom of speech at cheer when they knock one of the strange preachers who advocates for older beliefs. Well, those very older beliefs are the ones that give them what they want, right? It's the same people that complain that the United States used to be a safer country. But these are the same people that advocated for the destruction of every moral foundation and every faith-based foundation we ever had. You can't have both. You can't have your secular atheist worldview, and on top of that, have a world where the world is a happy-go-lucky place. Good lord, okay, I guess I can't do that. A happy-go-lucky place. Like, it just doesn't work. I think this is going to be a long mission for Myth. Well, I'm also distracted, and this is an interesting conversation. Oh, I can't be that close to it, okay. You have to sprint. As far as I know, that's just shift. Right? That's sprint, shift. Okay, obviously that is not the sprint button. Where's the sprint? Sprint. Move forward, walk. I can dodge. There's no sprint button. Move forward, move backwards, this straight, jump, walk. Yeah, I can do like the time, like this. I can do the sprinting, or not the sprint. I can do the. You have to use the time sprint. Okay, that's fine. I can do that.
Okay.
Time rush. Yeah.
Focus, Jack.
But you know, I mean, like, there's the same people that complain that the world is getting darker and scarier. And it's like, yeah, but what did you expect? Like, what were you really expecting? You fought so hard to remove every single aspect of life.
Stutters were getting bad. He's shifting back and forth without warning.
That would make this place
At the time,
safer.
I didn't think it could get much worse.
But we both know it did.
That's gotta hurt.
That was close. Okay, that was the right way. But again, and part of that comes down to immigration, and part of that comes down to morals, right? I mean, you invite a bunch of people from the third world that don't appreciate your values, and then you wonder why they don't think like you. The UK is going through this right now. And actually, France is too, and same as Germany's going through it. Italy is also going through it. They're all going through it because they're all going to have to figure out what it was that made them what they were. And the problem with this, though, is that it's too late. For most of those nations, it is already too late. They will never go back to the way it was, but they can do something about it for the future, and I didn't mean to just do that. And when I say that, I don't mean like they can, you know, they can undo it for the future. No, they're going to have to find a way forward with these people they have invited in. They cannot get rid of all of them, at least not without severely, like, destroying the thing that they were. Like, you can't be a Western liberal nation and also, like, when they figure it out, when you figure it out, it will be bad for the migrants. But the migrants would never. I would argue that it would be bad for the migrants because the migrants will no longer be able to mooch off of them. That's the thing. That's the real problem. Like, Americans have no problem with immigration. We don't, because for the longest time we had immigration, and even if we didn't like the immigrants, they had to assimilate. And this is the problem that we're running into: is that people don't want others to assimilate. Every mission is a long mission for myth. How dare you? They're going to have to figure this out, and the biggest problem that we have is that you've got people like illegal immigrants on government benefits. Oh, that's not possible. They're not allowed to do that. Okay, well, literally, you've got people like that have free housing from the government. I literally took a step, and the ground broke free, so there's that. Okay. All right, video game.
No, not again.
Use the Force, Luke. Hazmat boys.
Okay, let me go.
Whee! Yes. Hello. Oh, hello. I was like, why am I jumping? Where do you think you're going? Where are you, Lipshan? Ah! I will read those in a second. Hello, where did you go? And he is flipping around out there. Oof, heal up, heal up, heal up, heal up, heal up. Jeez, how many shots did these guys take? What the hell's happening? Oh my gosh, why? Oh, stuck in the corner. Why are you meleeing me? There we go. Let's heal up. Whee! Ugh. Who's left? Is that it? That can't be it. Let's see, we used to have a strict immigration process and that a certain number of years, for the past 40, 50 years, has been a free-for-all. It's been more than that, but yeah. Section 8 EBT Medicare, so they're using the systems that none of them should ever have access to. Everyone bitches about defense spending, but we're spending over $1 trillion a year on social programs. Well, but this is the thing. If we had no social programs, people wouldn't care. Like, we would not care about immigration because of that. We can deal with lower wages in some cases and be for myth death. I didn't die yet. And I don't say that it's like a happy thing. The problem is the fact that you've got the devaluing of the dollar through debt, among other things, and the good jobs are being taken by foreigners. Not all of them, but some of them are. H-1Bs are not helping, and so you've got this race to the bottom.
Beth had been on her way to meet me. I expected she was frozen somewhere up there, by the side of the dry dock.
And it's like, oh, you think everybody wants to go work on the farms? Like, yeah, but that's not what they're doing. That's not all what they're doing. Some of them are, sure, absolutely. But some of them are doing tech jobs. Jobs that pay pretty good. They may not make, $100,000 a year, but hey, let's just say some kid making $60,000 a year ain't bad.
My exact words were, don't do anything stupid.
I've never been a great listener.
Well, time to start. Get in.
Time to start.
What if I don't trust you?
Then shoot me.
Look, I'm sorry, but I'm taking the van.
That's
Ow.
for not listening to me back there.
Ow.
You want to stop time from breaking down? You need my help. And thanks, by the way, for the +1 in the back seat. Starting to feel like goddamn babysitter.
Babysitter? You kidding me? I got good intel off that computer. Bitch.
My ride, my music. Deal with it.
Who the fuck are you people?
Hold on. I feel that I know I never do. I hear the rain sound in Africa. I found a nice company that is outing all the H-1B job listings they secret away and posting them. You're listening to this song, you can't get the lyrics right. Yeah, I just don't care. So the way that those H-1Bs work, is my understanding, is that when they post them under like some leaderboard in the basement, like a literal place. Oh, nobody wanted it. Got to go to H-1Bs. And that's how American companies are getting away with it. Now I think that's really dirty. And there are companies that are saying, "Oh no, you can definitely go find these jobs right here." And then if Americans apply for it, they are forced to not basically reset the H-1B stuff.
Swimming hall, the chain. Only lead we had. I guess this is it.
This building's been shut down for years.
Perfect place to hide something you don't want found.
I think it's time you tell me what you know.
Oh, did anybody catch that Nissan logo?
One thing that can stop the fracture. I know we're meant to find it, and I know Monarch doesn't want us to.
And yet you're wearing their uniform.
I like the way their pants fit.
Oof.
Yeah? I bet you like the paycheck, too.
Had to create a cover to gather information. You've known about this for a few hours. I've been preparing for it for most of my life.
You weren't aware that William owned the place?
There's a lot I didn't know about Will.
We need to find your brother's countermeasure.
All right.
And fast. Things will get worse.
Even if we do get rid of all the
progresses.
illegals, AI and robots are taking
Monarch
these jobs
will
they
be
had.
turning
Corporations do
over
anything to
over
keep from
looking
hiring Americans and paying them the minimum wage or more. You're not wrong about that. And so I've got two different theories on that, and that is the fact that eventually AI may
Jack,
get so
You coming or what?
AI may get so good where that is the case. But I think AI will always have that air of, yeah, but it's not really thinking on its own. It's taking an aggregate of data, and some of that data is wrong. And all it's going to take is a major company to wipe itself out by using AI data that it's going to start causing a problem. I know there's a lot of people that are using AI to like do trading and stocks like that, but if that's the case, then it's all rigged anyway. And that's going to be a problem all in and of itself. I'm more thinking about strategic decisions. When you've got a bunch of AIs that are trying to figure out where the best direction's going, they're all feeding off their own stuff. And when you start doing that, you're going to make bad decisions. And you're going to start getting people that don't know why they're making decisions. And this is where AI is going to shoot itself in the foot. You have people now that are going to school and they have ChatGPT or Grok or do all of their homework for them. Now, I'm against homework. As someone who hated homework, I'm against homework. However, it is important to be able to think on your own. I don't really care about the stuff that they're actually doing insofar as, hey, think this through. Try to think of a solution, right? And that's what AI robs from people, is think of a solution. I see it in corporate America every day. I see it every single day. People that use AI, well, it helps me get past this, minutia. And I was like, that minutia is there. Yeah, it's annoying, but that's kind of the point. It is annoying. It is stupid. But again, the stupid, annoying stuff is what keeps the nation running. It's called maintenance. Imagine if whenever in a relationship you didn't have to do the annoying things whenever you walked in the door and said, hey, honey, how's the day? It's not that you always care, but you ask anyway, right? It's not, you put in the extra effort. Hey, you know what? I saw that, somebody made dinner. They're going to have to do all the dishes. I'm going to at least put my bowl in the sink and, rinse it out or something. Whatever. It's the little minutia that keeps those little things going. Now, you say, oh, well, that doesn't really apply to that. I was like, okay, well, if you start getting rid of all the manufacturing and the industry in a nation, well, where does all the associated skills go for that stuff? It doesn't stay in the nation because nobody's doing it anymore. And what's the point of teaching somebody that little minutia, even if it's useful outside of the manufacturing? Exactly. But it's still valuable. It's minutia, but it's valuable. Right? These are the things that people tend to don't get, is that as AI robs you of the opportunity to do that, what you do is you end up with a scenario where people don't think critically. And once people stop thinking critically, they won't know why they're doing certain things. And once they stop understanding why they're doing certain things, AI will start to break down because everyone will not understand what they're doing, and the AI will be basically taking its inputs off of people that don't know what they're doing. And so it'll start giving you market trends that are wrong. It's literally aggregating failure. As long as you've got hyper-competent people, you'll be fine. But as soon as you no longer need hyper-competent people, the AI is going to break down. So you're creating a system that's going to self-implode. It's just that you're going to get, allegedly, a really cool toy in the interim. And so I see AI doing one of two things. I don't think the government will bail them out. At least I don't think so.
There's no way in over here.
Maybe, but I don't think so. I would. They might. I'm not convinced. But it's possible. Some companies are too big to fail. No company is too big to fail. And now, granted, I think that some people will say,
okay,
Ooh,
We'll find
yes.
another way in.
Who needs a door when I have psychic powers? But no, I think that too big to fail is not a real thing. I think that, like right now, there's people that are saying, "Oh, look, the Chinese car market is catching up." It's like, yeah, because we've completely outsourced car manufacturing in certain cases to China, and every time we do that, what does it do? It screws us over. So my long-term investment should be to put everything I got into canned food and ammunition. I don't think investing is going to be done the same way as it is now. I think that in the long term, I think that the world is going to get more draconian. Because in order to keep systems like this running, is you won't have a choice.
No offense.
Jesus.
And why wouldn't you?
I think I found a way in.
That's why, again, which governments will love. I think the world gets more and more draconian, more and more. The world gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean, hell, you've got the United Kingdom talking about essentially creating the Great Firewall of China, but for the UK. I mean, you have them unironically making this argument of, well, we should segment the UK population away from everybody else because they're dangerous. I think that the world is going to get much darker, and much smaller. And I think it's going to be by necessity. This is not something that I don't think that what we're going to be able to do is sustainable. I mean, it sounds like you're describing the degradation and slow collapse of civilization. Yes and no, right? I mean, civilization won't collapse.
Will had used the building to hide away his personal items. $12,000 moving bill.
Nice.
He must have hauled a lot more to this place than just some old boxes.
He did. Ooh, is that an old tape recorder?
Okay, May 17th, 1998. This is William Joyce, and I'm about to conduct the first animal test of the machine prototype using my trusty pet mouse, Schrodinger, in order... Wait, he's gone. Where'd he go? Shit. Come on, Schrodinger. Come to Willie. Come on, you're okay. You're alright.
What the hell were you doing here, brother? Time travel experiments with
We're
rats?
sending Schrodinger into the machine clockwise through the corridor, which will send him 5 minutes into the future, meaning he will reemerge exactly 5 minutes after he enters the machine. It has now been 3 minutes. No sign of Schrodinger. This is a very good sign. 2 minutes to go. Okay, so yeah, turns out he just kind of sat inside the corridor for 5 minutes, took a shit on the tubing. This reveals a very clear flaw in my test. My mouse is an idiot.
See, there is no system that is so foolproof that idiocy won't mess up.
In around about 5 minutes and 15 seconds, it's now clear the only quantifiable test will be travel to the past. The machine is now calibrated to send Schrodinger 5 minutes into the past, which means that he will now be traveling counterclockwise through the corridor, and when he comes out the other... Holy shit. Holy shit, it worked. This is clear proof that it's... What I'm now looking at is a future version of the same mouse that has successfully traveled 5 minutes into the past. Schrodinger, meet future you. Ow. Fucker bit me.
I'm glad he's happy with that. Anyway, let's see. I mean, it sounds like, oh my god, he killed a mouse. That guy probably started the Black Death that wiped out half of Europe. Anytime, I think it was more than that. That's George Clooney's voice.
You owned this place since 1999?
Will,
Why didn't you tell me, Will?
Oh, so hold on. This was also, so hold on. Maybe he didn't, maybe Paul didn't start Monarch. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe Will's not actually dead. Will, I put all your paperwork regarding the purchase of the Bradbury swimming pool in this folder. I knew you'd lose track of the documents otherwise. I've made sure that the purchase can't be traced back to the funds from your research grant. I don't know what you're up to, and it's not my business to ask, but we've known each other long enough for me to say this. I trust that you know what is best for you, but I can't pretend that I'm not concerned. Your career is showing so much promise, and your recent actions feel like a drastic turn in a direction I can't begin to understand. I kept my promise and haven't told Jack or anyone else about this, but he's worried about you, even if he doesn't know how to show it. Jack hasn't heard from you in months. He needs you. Your attorney and friend, Allison Cunningham. Well, that's good.
No wonder you are always coming up with crazy shit.
As I look at a paint roller and 2 dead plants? I don't know what that means. Oh, right.
We need to keep our contact limited from this point forward. I'll find you when the countermeasure's complete.
But yeah, I think the important thing is to remember that as Europe bottles itself up, it will inevitably have to shrink itself.
Hello, Riverport. Teresa Sedmak here, filling in for Bobby Radford. About to brighten your day with some good news.
I don't care. So I think that what we're going to be looking at in the near future, I think that, I forget who said it was, we are going to be entering a world that is a bit more isolated. But it's going to become isolated because right now people are having to figure out who they are again. And that's never a good sign. Along with shrinking populations. Now that's Meriadoc Brandybuck. Meriadoc Brandybuck.
Working on it.
I'm not really. I don't care. I'm looking for that thing that's going to give me more power.
Hey, Jack. You gonna unlock the door?
Can you say it more sexy for me, please?
Yeah, just hold on.
July 4th, 2010.
The hell is
Beth
this?
Wilder, I'm addressing this video to you. You told me to stay away from my workshop, but I couldn't just leave it there. I went back to get it, and the entire place is a disaster zone. The countermeasure, gone, taken. Shit. Safe, empty. I just need to know you have it, because if it falls into the wrong hands, its power is immeasurable. Our future, our entire lives depend on it. This can't all be for nothing. You know where to find me. Please, hurry.
The video made it clear that he'd been working with Beth in the past. Made me wonder what else she was hiding.
They're lovers and they have a love child. Don't you tell me otherwise. Do you think the European will go berserking and genocide the migrants? That's honestly, that is on my bingo card. Because a state only exists with the consent of its people. If the state refuses to deal with it, the only response is going to be a formation of a different state.
Around. Down here.
Now, it may not get that bad. I don't think we're there
I already
yet.
did. Now, how about you tell me how you know Will?
I've never met your brother.
I find that hard to believe, considering the video I just watched.
What are you talking about, Jack?
See for yourself. It's in the next room.
It's gonna be gone. I'm calling it right now. It's gonna be gone. Nope, nope. Guess not. Beth, play video.
This note. It's directed at me.
Yes.
July 4th, 2010. Beth Wilder, I'm addressing this video to you. You told me to stay away from my workshop, but I couldn't just leave it there. I went back to get it, and the entire place is a disaster zone. The countermeasure, gone, taken. Oh, shit.
What the...
Safe, empty. I just need to know you have it, because if it falls into the wrong hands, its power is immeasurable. Our future, our entire lives depend on it. This can't all be for nothing. You know where to find me. Please, hurry.
2010. Holy shit.
What was he talking about?
He recorded that for me in 2010? What the fuck? He said the countermeasure's gone? It's not good. We need to figure this out. Let's keep looking.
Excellent. Let's see. The Irish are getting there. The Scots aren't far behind. Yeah, I think that the gangs are causing a massive problem.
Paint. And it's still wet. I think someone was here recently, Jack.
We want to stay here until we make sure it's safe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. So yeah, I can't speak for the Irish or the Scottish. I think the Scottish are basically just communists in waiting.
Help me push this out of the way.
What about this? Nope. Fine.
I need help moving this.
Ma'am, just kick the door open. Be a girl boss. Come on.
Jack, your brother addressed that video to me.
Yeah, no, we know that.
But I've never met him before in my life.
Well, it sounded like he thought you had his countermeasure.
I wish. But he said it was stolen on July 4th, 2010. Somebody took it.
You mean to tell me that the Scotsman from Samurai Jack is a communist in waiting as well? Not that one. No, that guy's awesome. The Scotsman is amazing.
Place will help us figure out who.
I bet like there's some time travel fuckery involved where they have a relationship and it's just like...
I'll give you the honor of pressing the button.
No. I'm going this way. Because deep down there is a space that I'm looking for that has fancy things. And I am a fan of fancy things. As a matter of fact, all of my things are fancy. Even if they're not supposed to be. Even the plywood desk in which I sit currently is fancy. Why? Because it is fancy. But no, I mean, based on what my understanding of how the Scottish people vote and how they act, they're just communists in waiting. They just need an opportunity, and the only thing that's really kind of pushing them in another direction is essentially the migration problem. That's it. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know that many Scotsmen. I think I've known one in my entire life. But the average European has accepted hook, line, and sinker the idea of...
Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
The idea of communism.
Second time machine. This changes everything.
Does it?
If we can get this thing working, then we don't need that countermeasure. We can change everything.
Can you?
What if we stop the fracture from ever happening in the first place? We can go back to yesterday. Undo everything in the past before it happens.
Don't we try that?
Nobody dies. Paul doesn't go through the machine. Monarch never exists. I mean, the fracture never occurs.
Jack, wait. Let's think this through. That's not how it...
I can go into the machine like Paul did at the university. I helped them set it up. Then we activate the core, put the corridor in place, and set the date. I can do it, Beth.
I'm not so sure we can do this without the countermeasure. But you're right. We'll need the machine.
How much do you want to bet that
Let's start with the core.
Paul is not the actual bad guy, Jack is?
Explanation? Anybody?
I saw some kind of visions of this machine in his workshop. He must have hid it here.
Feel free to fill me in. Anytime now.
So like maybe if
Okay,
that's the
core
case, maybe he
controls.
goes back and does stuff.
Where are they? Okay. Gotta figure out where to start.
Core!
Where are the core controls?
Luckily, I don't know what any of that stuff means. I'm not going to read it, so it doesn't matter.
Will received a massive research grant in 1997. He'd successfully built the time machine by 1999. But the results scared him. He never told a soul.
Well, time travel would be a scary thing because, like I said, when you start messing with time, you start inevitably messing with everything else around it. And the subsequent events that follow. You cannot change one
the
event.
time machine core needs to be reset.
You cannot change one event without changing a bunch.
What the hell's it look
You
like?
cannot change one small thing in time
Round
and freeze
thing
the
in the middle.
rest.
Think. I can't activate the core till it's reset.
Is there anything else I can do? Oh, there's more stuff over here. There's more things I can look at, and I want the free XP. I demand the free XP. Beth, the time has arrived. It's here. Everything you warned me about is about to come to fruition. Please give me what is about to... I'm sorry. Please give me a sign that you're still out there. Put my mind at ease. Tell me you have the countermeasure. I'm losing my mind over here. I spent years trying to convince myself that you were wrong all this time and that I built the countermeasure for nothing. I tried to move on, pick up the pieces, but now I have seen the proof. Paul Serene brought me into advise on an experiment at the university. They've built it. They've built another time machine, almost an exact replica of my own design, but with key flaws in the calculations. Just like you said, if they activate this machine, then the fracture will occur. How is this possible? How have they followed my design so closely? Somebody's been watching me all this time, haven't they? Somebody is orchestrating this, all of it. I'm being followed. At first I thought it was paranoia, but it's true. A man has been watching my every move. I secretly took his photo, ran a search. His name is Liam Burke. Ooh, uh-oh. He works for a security division of Monarch Solutions. I first noticed it God, would y'all please shut up? Ugh. I first noticed it weeks ago, but this could have been going on for years. What does he want? What does he know? How is he connected to this? I need answers. I don't know who I can trust anymore. I don't know who else is involved. What they want. Why? I need to hear from you. I need to know that I'm not alone in all of this. If what you once told me is true, then the onset of the fracture may be inevitable. But I can't simply stand by and allow it to happen. Not until I know the countermeasure is safe. I've given... Oh, geez. Okay. I've given up hope that you're still listening. I'm not sure why I'm writing this. Maybe to get some closure. You changed the course of my life when you entered it. I spent over a decade devoted to your cause. I sacrificed every relationship I had, pushed everyone I love. All in the name of a lie. There is no threat coming. There never was. I have to force myself to believe this. It's the only way to move on. It's the only way to pick up the pieces and start over. This is goodbye. Oh, so I think there's some more time travel-y, gobbledygook happening. I think that Will is it Will?
The schematics for the countermeasure spanned 11 years, 1999 to 2010. In itself, that wasn't strange. But the guy built a working time machine in 2.
Yeah, there's more. Once you're able to pass through time, when you do things don't matter so much.
The corridor. It's key activated. Will's key. Need to find a way to reset the core first.
Alright.
These schematics are all in Will's writing. He did all of this. Built everything.
Monarch was made aware of its existence shortly after it was completed. In 1999.
1999.
I know, the world ended in
They believe it was
1999.
destroyed shortly after. I imagine Will wanted to keep it that way.
You know, the world did in fact end in 1999. I understand. We had a whole movie about it. It's called The Matrix. Why can't I get it? Can I not get down from here? Do I really have to go all the way around? Oh my gosh, video game. Why are you retarded? You know what? No, I don't care. I'm not going to go all the way around. I only have so much time to play video games. There's got to be a way to get down from here. Ah, yes. The invisible wall of I can't jump over to the edge. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Excellent game design, gentlemen. Excellent. Lols. Don't you dare laugh at me. Don't you dare. I will not accept that. I mean, I won't do anything about it, but I won't accept it either. Let's run all the way over here.
Find anything back there?
No, nothing I can make sense of.
Well, let's find out if we have a piece of paper that'll tell us all the answers. A Civilian's Guide to Time Travel, cliche working title. Opening statements, open with a singer, Schrodinger cat joke. You must go through the very specific path we have laid out for you. Exactly, which is always the best way to play a game. No, find an appropriate company cat photo. No cat photo. No science explained here. Marketing bullshit. Time machine equals works. Implications equals limitless. Give me your money spiel. Build up existence of time machine. Content here defined on... Thank Jack for his patience. Now that this is over, promise to be affirmed. Too personal. Basic overview of time machine parts. Okay, I'm not doing this. Time is an egg. Time is an egg, and if you put it in the microwave, time explodes. Just like an egg. Oh, I love the fact that he runs even slower in this than he does everywhere else. Just like in Fallout New Vegas. Mr. President, I found the answer on how to solve world hunger after pickpocketing the head of the agriculture. Exactly. First off, okay, if we had a really good Fallout team, like a good Bethesda team, we would have a team that made Fallout Enclave. Because honestly, the Enclave would be the most interesting faction to work for. You could betray them if you wanted to, but like the Enclave should be a group that you join, and like your job is to hunt down all the Vault Dwellers or something. I don't know. Parents killed in Bradbury car crash. Holiday cheers in short supply for the Riverport community of Bradbury after a tragic car crash claimed the lives of a married couple, Anthony and Catherine Joyce. The accident took place within walking distance of the family's front door on Princeton Street in the early afternoon. Catherine Joyce, who was driving, lost control of their car after a collision with another vehicle and crashed into a utility pole. My guess is every single one of these, every single event, is caused by time travel. I'm going to go along with and say that this is also a result of their time travel. Like, their fuckery in all of this creates such a massive shockwave throughout time that, like, every single event that has happened in their lives essentially is them trying to undo what they've done. And so every major negative event is a result of it. Where's Sean? Sean. Yeah, Fallout 4. Jeez, okay. Ugh. Terrible storyline. Don't worry, I'm a 50-year-old man now. 9mm to the head. Or, sorry, 10mm to the head. The accident took place in the... Undo the evil that is Aku. I'm so sad that Mako died before he could actually finish doing all of his parts. That's so sad. The Joyces are both well known in the Bradbury area as prominent members of the community. Last year, they were recognized by the mayor for their charity efforts, particularly the Riverport Multiple Sclerosis Walk they had organized every year since 1993. The couple left behind 2 children, the promising young physicist Dr. William Joyce and Jack Joyce, still underage. A candlelight vigil will be held for Anthony and Catherine on Sunday to unite the grieving family, friends, and the community during this tragic time. So sad. Alright, now I gotta watch the, see, now I may have to go back and watch Samurai Jack, because Samurai Jack is awesome. I need to get the Blu-ray of that before they, don't sell it anymore, or they start censoring it. We can't have you watching Samurai Jack. There's parts of this that might not be very good for modern audiences.
Hey, it looks like I can reset the core from here.
Are you sure you know what you're doing there?
Nope.
No clue. But I did help Paul set up the machine at the university.
Which then caused the fracture.
Look, Will knew the calculations were wrong. Hoping that means he knew what he was doing here. This is what Will is leading us to. We have to test it. The core. That's what we set up first.
Alright. Let's go push buttons. Ad Victorium.
This could actually be the key to finding the countermeasure.
We'll see. It's still resetting.
Use the key.
The core is reset. We need to activate it from the control booth.
The controls are up here, according to the monitor.
This guy must have been in really good shape, just from the walking he'd have had to do, just in this place alone.
You said Will built a countermeasure. What makes you so sure this isn't it? The time machine.
He said the countermeasure was stolen. But the machine is still here.
It depends. Maybe it was stolen. Maybe it wasn't.
Here goes nothing.
W? Okay, holding W. I have no idea if I'm doing this in the right order. I'm probably not. We're all gonna die.
What was that?
It's fine. It's fine.
More time travel.
It worked. It actually worked.
Well, yeah, but the last one worked too.
We activate the
Can't
corridor
insert the
next.
date yet.
Okay, there's no way that thing should be exposed like
This
that.
was the final step. Need to set up the machine first.
Oh, okay. Oh, let's talk to Amy. Is it Amy? What's your name again, Heifer?
This is gonna work. It has to.
You guys aren't actually planning to use this machine, are you?
Well, maybe.
So I guess you're not at all concerned that one guy jerry-rigged this entire thing together? Because I think I literally see duct tape.
Yes.
Okay, no, this is a great idea. Yeah, no way that this is gonna backfire.
Nope.
There's a light blinking here.
Blinky
Might
light.
be what you're looking
Myth
for.
accidentally exposes everyone to the demon core. Well, if demons pop out, we're going into the Warhammer universe, which means life's about to get a lot cooler. It's gonna suck a lot more, but it's gonna be a lot cooler.
Is that supposed to do that?
Dude, he built this by himself?
He did that?
Yeah.
Key to a time machine, and he left it in the trunk of his goddamn car.
That's my brother in a nutshell.
For the Emperor! Exactly. For the Emperor!
Fuck. Okay,
Let's just hope it still
corridor,
works.
then the date.
Now, let's go back in time like 3 days.
No.
What?
God damn it. I don't know. We're so close. I'm gonna try it again.
Yeah, like hell you are. You saw what happened. Something's wrong with the machine.
We don't know that.
You're not trained for this. Anything you do is gonna make it worse.
We
You
can't.
know I'm right.
Stop trying.
You lost people. You're angry. I get it. But this is bigger than us. We can't fix the machine. But I might know somebody who can.
Oh, that's convenient. Paul Serene?
Sophia Amaral.
The Monarch scientist. I saw her video near Ground Zero.
Serene's head of Cronin Research. She'll be at the Monarch Gala tonight, but security's airtight. She'll be nearly impossible to get to.
So Paul knows I'm coming.
Paul told me he expected me to meet him at that party.
Something tells me that was not a friendly invitation. Jack, no.
So Paul is like a fatalist. He knows exactly what's about to happen. Is that Paul? I'm sorry. Is yeah, Paul. Like from Dude. Wow.
I'm in a mess, I can't help it. I just go round
Wow.
and round. I'm paranoid, I'm selfish. Push me, I climb up.
Fucker, what is this game?
That eats me up, that's Elvis.
Alright, do this one for the Krusty Krab! For the Krusty Krab! Do this one because I told you to! Because you told me to!
Starting to flutter when it thinks about yours.
You know what's funny is this is the perfect time to stop too.
Dumb chunk of muscle with its claws out, throwing its saws out the dinghy in the
Also, there is absolutely nothing worse than British people rapping. There is absolutely nothing worse than the sound of British people rapping. It is the worst sound on God's given earth. It is the worst thing by a landslide. There is something worse. I don't... Okay, alright. Hit me. What is possibly worse than British people rapping? I'll wait. Tell me. Explain to me. English people existing. No, English people gave birth to the United States. I don't like them, but I do respect them on that level. Look, a lot of British people had to die for America to exist. I can respect this. They could have died out after they did that. They could have, but they chose to hang on. And you know what? That's okay. There's a little bit of love. It would have been fine. Look, I have a little bit of love in my heart for the British people. I hope for the best for them. But man, do I not have a whole lot of hope for them. It's not that I don't have... It's not that I think that they deserve it. They probably do. But man, I hope not. Dude, what? 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 You can't just say dude and then leave me hanging. Dude. Yes. British is England. Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. Yeah, I understand. Look, they're all the same to me. They're all Eurotrash. Look, everything literally outside of... Like, okay, alright, so here's the thing. There's a line that extends down from Maine all the way down. And there's a line that extends from the furthest point in California. Or sorry, no, Hawaii. And everything down that line, on either of those lines, are useless to me. And I have no care about them. The English are the problem children. I see them all as a problem. I mean, I don't like the Germans. I don't like the French. Like, this is where a friend of mine... Wait, Steve ended? Sit your ass back down and keep playing. Hawaii is a shithole with a fake culture. Yeah, it is, actually. I mean, I could do without Hawaii. Probably. I speak American. I don't speak English. Look, Look, I'm just saying this real quick. The rest of the world may have quote-unquote history, but their history sucks. I mean, let's be real. I mean, European history is pretty terrible. Greek history is pretty terrible. I mean, most history is pretty terrible. And I say this as someone who enjoys history. Most history is pretty garbage. Because 90% of it is made up. I say 90%. That's I'm being facetious is not the right word. I'm being very sarcastic. I'm being very exaggerative. A lot of history is them trying to make things out that they're bigger than they really are. Most things you can probably bet on this one fact of life. Odds are it's a lot more boring than reality shows. Most history is people killing each other. You're correct. What is your definition of garbage history? They'll overplay the importance of certain things. So most historians, so for instance, whenever I did my piece on the Gothic War, way back when, I tried to make sure that I was grabbing corroborating sources at the very minimum. Now, of course, there weren't that many people just writing down their thoughts that survived to the modern day. And most of them that could were probably, not there when it happened. I felt comfortable doing the Gothic War because you had multiple eyewitnesses to all these events that all gave their parts of the story, and you had the historian himself on the front lines. Made it easy for me to do that one because there's a lot of extra pieces there. But one of the things that historians will do, as well as modern people will do, is they will condense things down into, well, this happened because of this, right? So some of those things, and I'm trying to be vague here because if I was to give a specific example, I'd have to back up every single thing and show you how why what we are told it is and what it actually is are not the same thing. Let's see, I'm trying to think of a really good example in the modern day. Like if you, okay, I got one. So if you look at like the history of the Vietnam War, no, that's even better. Let's do the history of the Vietnam War. Let's do Vietnam War. We are told one thing, and we are told that it was a complete and utter failure. Operation Iraqi Freedom. No. The Vietnam War is better. Some historians like to embellish what happened. It's worse than embellishment. It's a misdirection of what happened. So in the Vietnam War, we went over to stop communism, the spread of communism. That is true. What history books don't tell you is how we did it. Vietnam became communist, so obviously that war was a complete failure. Yes, if what you are hearing is we went there to stop communism in Vietnam, which is not what we did. It's not at all what we did. We went there to break up a relationship between China and Russia. So if anybody wants to go digging out some history, I encourage you to do so. We intervened in Vietnam because we needed an excuse to basically make sure that China didn't industrialize and become uber communist, which we failed at, and we needed to break up the Soviet Union. So we also wanted to make sure that the the Western Front didn't get a whole bunch of attention while the Eastern Front went unmarked. So what did? We started fiddling around in China's backyard. When they started funneling tons of weapons and ammunition into Vietnam a few years into the war, we were literally again every engagement we had, we were winning. Like we were actually stacking bodies like freaking cordwood. Like we were actually doing what we were supposed to be doing. The problem is that we wouldn't actually commit to anything. And the official reason is because, well, we don't want to antagonize the Chinese. We know we're killing Chinese people. We know we're bombing. Like when we drop Agent Orange on people, there's a good chance there's going to be Chinese soldiers in there, and even Russian soldiers. So what happens? The Chinese don't have the industrial capacity to actually maintain any kind of support for Vietnam. So what do they have to do? They have to borrow from Russia. So, but when Russians give them the crates of AK-47s and the small arms and even the bigger arms, what do the Chinese do? They swap the labels on it and say this is from China. This is literally what happens. Now, the problem is the Chinese are very proud of themselves, even if they shouldn't be. And heads up, they shouldn't be. the Russians don't like this because now their hegemony over, well, pretty much that whole area of the world, continental powers work this way, is being eroded by their number one ally, China. This causes friction. Friction that as we keep bombing them and destroying their material, they have to keep shipping from the Western Front to the Eastern Front. This creates tension between China and Russia that ultimately ends in quite literally the Kremlin calling up the president. They call up, or was it a face-to-face meeting? I can't remember. But what ends up happening is when you fast forward a few years, you have the Russian government calling the United States saying, is it okay if we nuke the Chinese? That is how that relationship ends. And the United States says, no, you may not nuke the Chinese. We will consider that an act of nuclear war. Do not go dropping nukes on the Chinese. That very year, we pull out of Vietnam. Why is that? I thought the whole point was to stop the spread of communism. So did we win or didn't we win? And the answer is, well, it depends on what war you're fighting. If you're fighting the war for a land battle in Vietnam, you lost. If your war was to basically stack bodies and cause a bunch of tension between these two major powers, you won. But the problem is it's a really hard sell to say, I'm going to go throw your son onto the front line where I'm going to not only bomb the enemy, but I'm going to intentionally bomb him too. That is a losing strategy from a PR standpoint, so you can't ever say that. Why not let them nuke the Chinese? Our enemies destroying each other sounds like a win for us because of the rest of the world. Think of that, right? So if you nuke the Chinese, there's fallout. Stream ended, right? I know, right? More like the epilogue. So if you were to actually do that, there's going to be a lot of fallout from that. Not just nuclear fallout. You've got a bunch of instability, and now the rest of the world is fucking scared, right? Because this is the 1960s. Not everybody has nukes. So if you're dropping nukes on China, yeah, you're going to knock out the China problem, but you're also going to destroy a lot of ecosystems. You're going to destroy a lot of freaking markets. You're going to destroy a bunch of stuff. And again, slaughtering millions of innocent people who really don't do anything is bad. You can fix everything by making a water treatment plant. Well, maybe. Maybe. But no, we said no. Because again, we don't want them to solve that problem. China is a thorn in Russia's side. It's a thorn they have to have, but it is a thorn, or at least at the time it was. And now Russia is a thorn in China's side. Like, their relationships are actually rather destructive. These are two continental powers that see each other as peers, and continental powers don't play well with each other. Historically speaking, all continental powers have to weaken everybody next to them. People in the 60s remember World War II. They're used to everything being destroyed. Yeah, but nobody wants to go do that. Plus, dropping a nuke on China, do you think that the Chinese wouldn't retaliate? They wouldn't be able to drop nukes, of course, but they have a bajillion people. So you'd have to carpet bomb nuke the entire continent. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Or worst case scenarios, the Soviet Union walks in, and let's say they knock out the entire Chinese communist echelon. Well, they're just going to walk in and they're going to annex China. Well, congratulations. Now you have the Chinese and all that land, and now you have Japan, who is weak after World War II, on the border of a Russian power that now has this massive access to the sea and the Eastern Front. Not something we would want. I mean, there's 1,000 reasons why you wouldn't want to nuke China. But yeah, no, we don't want Soviet influence going over there either. I mean, this is just, if you kind of think along how you would do this, it wouldn't be good. I'm not saying that there wouldn't be any upside to it back then, but dropping nukes has never been the answer, and especially now, I think that if anybody asks, well, what if we nuke these people? If you use nuclear weapons, I think everybody loses. I would rather go back to World War I style fighting. Russia already had access to the Pacific. They do from the report in Vladivostok, but it's not the same. Their ports are small. Let's put it that way. They don't have a fleet like the way that we do. Giving them a bigger fleet or giving them bigger access like annexing territory that has more water access would not be good. Because I think that what they would have done is they would have probably used that to create a navy, or at least tried to. A lot of Russian ports are also not warm water. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. Like if you look at the port in Vladivostok, it's not very big. I'm wondering why China today doesn't invade Russia. So that's my theory, and I'm going to end on this. So right now, I think Trump is trying to end the war in Ukraine because China is starting to poke and prod at Russia. Russia, after World War II or World War I, I can't remember which, they received a large chunk of Chinese land that China still believes is theirs. That land houses 20% of China's fresh water. They control it. 20% of your country's water does not come from your own country, and it used to be Chinese territory. Assuming Russians' nukes even work, yeah, that's another big thing. And so what has Russia been doing this entire time in Ukraine? It's been having to rely on partially from supplies from China, of course. And China is more than happy to help their friends. But I think that as this war goes on, we're going to have a problem, or at least the Russians will, where China is going to start asking favors from Russia, or as their state is weakened, China will then flex its muscles to get that property back, among other things. I think what Trump is trying in this, there's no strategic analysis that's being done on this. I'm not getting this from somebody from the College of Navy or Army or whatever. This is just kind of what I would do if I was China. I would start to flex my muscles and say, "Look, I've dumped a ton of money into you. The least you can do is give me back this. It's dead territory. It's just some water. Give me my water territory back, and we'll keep funding you. If not, I'm going to start slowing this down." And what is Russia going to do? They have no way of stopping or preventing. And if anything, China may even say, look, we'll just hold on to it for you. It's fine. And they're going to station troops there. And it wouldn't be an active war because Russia wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Like there's so many different levels of this, of how this could play out. I think that Trump sees this too. I think if I can see it, other people can see it. I am not that smart. You can clip that. If I can see this, if I can think of this, I think somebody else has already thought about this months and months and months and months and months ago. And I think that a lot of this is going to come down to Trump's trying to end the war so that doesn't happen, so that the Chinese can't flex that influence without cost. Because right now, what we have is the Western world needing to start fighting back against China. And I think that China is going to eventually go to war with Taiwan, among a few other places. And we need people to be on board with fighting them. True, but even if it was just a fraction of them do the work, then that's a lot of death. It is. I imagine China annexing everything east of the Ural Mountains. There's a lot of things that could be happening. And even if most of that territory is useless, it doesn't matter. China's a continental power. They'll see it as a positive, no matter what. As long as China is becoming the middle kingdom that they want it to be, they don't care. And that's kind of where I'm thinking that things are going. Trump probably won't be the president that's in power whenever we go to war with China. I don't think so. But it's probably going to happen sometime in my lifetime. The clash will be inevitable. The question is when, and will we or they be ready when it comes? And I think Trump is trying to make it to where either A, we're prolonging that for as long as possible, or we're going to try to keep them from being ready when that day comes. My personal opinion is that I thought the timeline was going to be much, much faster than it really was. Might be J.D. Vance or DeSantis. It probably, maybe. We can avoid the war if we do one thing, but I know it's not going to happen. If everybody just abandons China as a manufacturing hub, if everybody just abandons them as a manufacturing hub, China can't survive. The Communist Party would collapse because the actual structure of their system could not survive this. And everybody's saying, "Oh, the future is China, and the future is..." It is because we let it. That's it. The future is that because we let it. Now I don't think that's true. I don't even think that's true. their entire economy is based on everybody else's. They don't even focus on their own markets. Therefore, when we shut them out of everybody else's market, they collapse. I mean, just look at what the tariffs did, right? The tariffs had all these companies in China just say, hey, look, we can sell you this stuff for a fraction of the price. Well, a lot of companies are moving their manufacturing to other Asian countries. Yeah, but they're all still outsourcing to China. There's a lot more to that than what people are saying. There's a lot more to that than what people are saying. They'll do partial assembly in China or partial parts assembly in China, and then they'll send it off somewhere else. Like, this is what Apple did. Apple already got their hand slapped super hard for that. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. India is also gearing itself up to be an enemy of the United States. Russia's not helping. China's not helping. This is where I'm thinking that, again, you have these... You will not either you're going to deal with the problem or you're going to let the problem take you over. And that's not just for the United States, it's for the rest of the world. And we are kind of at those crossroads. And the rest of Europe knows this. I just don't think Europe has much of a chance. The United States does, but I don't think the rest of Europe does. I think that maybe the Eastern, ironically, like Poland and Poland and Hungary, maybe Romania, I think has a chance. But even then, not much. Poland probably the most of the group. If India and China go to war, they'll be a bloodbath. They won't go to war with each other. No, they're just going to be on the same side. India is out for itself. It doesn't care. And its neighbors are Russia and then China and a few other places here and there. They don't care. They don't care. China's neighbors are, well, it's kind of the same thing. Russia, India, Vietnam, North Korea. But the way that so the difference between continental powers and maritime. So America is a maritime power. They hate each other. They do for now. But a lot of enemies will become friends for a greater enemy, and I think that enemies they're going to see is the United States. I think they already do. That's why India was buying Russian oil for dirt cheap, because they got a good deal, even though that they were quote unquote our ally, and they were actively undermining U.S. policy. They're just looking out for number one. It makes total sense to me. However, they also expect us to not do anything about it, which is what kind of strange. It's weird. Anyway, it's time for me to go. Political. I guess this is military strategy. I like this stuff, but it's something that I think is right now it's a clusterfuck, and I think the first thing that has to stop is the Ukraine war. It does not matter how it ends. It just needs to end. Otherwise, it's going to keep going on. It's almost midnight for Myth. It is almost midnight for me. But again, if anything is going to happen, the first step has to be the end of the Ukraine war. It cannot go on, and for anybody to be ready for China, because as long as Russia is having to, do what it's doing now, it's just not gonna. It's not gonna go anywhere. Nothing's going to change, and as Russia weakens, China strengthens. That's the part that I think most people don't know. And China's already getting stronger, or at least it was. I think the tariffs are a help. They need to be much higher, much higher. And I think we need to be strong arming Europe into doing the same thing. And we need to be bringing back. We need to really be bringing manufacturing back to the United States. Like hardcore. Oh, but it'll never come back. No, we need to. It needs to happen, regardless of whether or not it makes sense. It needs to come back. Kind of like what I said earlier. The skills that go along with this, the skills that go along with that manufacturing, the stuff the maintenance stuff, we need that back in the United States. Zelensky is actively trying to prevent any peace talk settlements. He's playing like he has some sort of leverage. He does. But not the leverage that actually matters. The leverage he has is the moral high ground. But it is quickly falling out from underneath him because even his own people don't care. Even his own people say, look, we have been bled white. There's nothing left. And he is enriching himself to no end fighting this battle. He is enriching himself beyond, it is just ungodly how much money that man has made by essentially buying weapons from America or from Europe and then selling them on the black market. We have found our guns and our weapons being used in war zones across the world that are targeted for Ukraine. That's not leverage. That achieves anything, and he has burnt out multiple generations of their men and has run dry on new troops. Yeah, because he was hoping that America was going to drop troops down, same as Europe, but America wouldn't do it in Gaza. No, Gaza, that war could go on for as long as it wants. Nobody cares. In Lebanon and Gaza, yeah, but we don't care about that war. I mean, we don't, and we shouldn't. It's not our problem. At least with Ukraine, letting Russia have access to that port and letting them take what they want. I say we invade Iraq. Buckle up, boys! It's 2002 all over again. Oh, good lord. Okay, that's enough. Oh, man. I'm glad that this was a fun conversation for everybody. I was going to try to go for something more fuck Iraq. Well, we did. Third time's the charm. Yeah, no. Well, yeah, all right. Have a good night, everybody. Take it easy.